St-Pierre, his first fight, if you watch it, it's like in Canada in a ring. He can't wrestle for shit.
Yeah.
Nothing. Now he's out wrestling like Koscheck.
Yeah.
That's important. No one can do that.
But wasn't it fascinating, though, when you saw him lock up with Johnny Hendrix? He couldn't take Hendrix down at all.
Well, that was dope. Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference between, you catch a guy especially not in a transition, not in between punches, but actually just trying to take him down.
Yeah,
good luck. Yeah. Hendrix hopping around on one leg, punched him in the face.
Yeah, nothing.
And George couldn't take him down, which is crazy when you think about how good George's wrestling is in a lot of his other fights.
That was Johnny did
He's a
better
beast.
than I thought, dude.
I thought he won the fight.
No, he won the fight.
Yeah.
No, he won the fight.
I
for
think
sure.
so too.
He got robbed, but
I think almost everybody that I've talked to that watched that fight, except extreme GSP fans.
I wanted St-Pierre to win. I don't want to knock on the UFC because that's your boss, or whatever, or you work for them. But like, the UFC doesn't want to market fighters; they want to market the UFC.
Well, it's smart if you were a business. If you were a business, it's smart. But they do market fighters as well. Look, Ronda Rousey, I know how much Ronda Rousey's making. She's making incredible money. If you're a pay-per-view draw, if you're a George St-Pierre, if you're someone that's making a ton of money, you make money based on how many pay-per-views you sell. So they're making shitloads of money. So there's what people read online as far as like how much the UFC pays. It's like these are the disclosed revenue, the disclosed incomes. But that's not what they get paid. There's a bunch of other shit involved as well. There's bonuses, and then on top of the bonuses, there's what they get for each pay-per-view sale. So they don't disclose, and a lot of it's because a lot of fighters don't want people to disclose. But if you're a guy who's starting out and you want to eventually work your way up to get to championship status, like, it's a fucking minefield. Like, look at Brock Lesnar's a perfect example. I was talking to Dana about this last night. Has there ever been a guy where his fucking second fight in, he's fighting the former UFC heavyweight champion in his Mir was in his prime. I mean, Mir was, as good as he's ever been when Brock fought him.
His problem was that he was too famous.
Yeah.
He had to be thrown in there.
Yep.
I can't watch MMA around civilians. You know what I mean? Like, they're fucking, they say the craziest shit. You know what I mean?
Do you find that, like, drunk, especially drunk white guys, try to talk extra tough if they're watching MMA around you?
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't know. It's like, drunk guys, sober people don't come to you as much. Drunk, they'll come to you right away. But it's always they want to tell stories of fights and fights this. I do not want to talk about fighting.
Yeah.
I do not give a fuck about fighting.
I guess they feel like that's all you can relate to.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I fucking train all day. I don't care about fighting. I don't want to watch fight. I don't want to talk about fighting. Like, just talk about that girl's ass.
I have a friend. And her boyfriend doesn't know anything about martial arts. He's never trained a day in his life, and he likes to watch fights. But when he watches fights, he starts like getting all aggressive and saying crazy shit, and she gets mad. She's like, "This guy's a fucking pussy. I'd kick this fucking guy's ass. This guy's a pussy." And she's like, "Will you shut the fuck up? You ain't kicking nobody's ass. Like, why are you saying that? You know how annoying that is?"
Dude, it's the worst. I can beat this fucking guy. This guy sucks.
Why are you saying that?
It doesn't suck, man.
That's the perspective.
Why doesn't he get up? The fucker's holding him down. Wait, like, you don't think he wants to get up? Yeah, he's just laying there for fun. He wants to get up. He can't.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Why doesn't he just knock him out? Oh, he's trying to knock him out. What do you mean, why does he knock him out?
It's so frustrating hearing people critique fights when they have no idea what they're talking about. Like, nobody's ever hit them. Like, there was a nothing punch. Like, what are you talking? Look at the punch he knocked. Like, someone was telling me about the Chris Weidman. Dude, Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva looked like a fixed fight to me, bro. That was a nothing punch. He caught him perfectly on the end of the chin. Like, has anybody ever hit you on the end of your chin? Let me tell you what happens. Your legs just go wee-wee. They just give out on you.
But, knockouts are weird. Like, you remember when Lawler fought Lawler and Diaz?
Yes. Yeah.
They were slugging it out, and the one that knocked him out was weak. I mean, it was like a little tip. Like,
it was a weird right hook.
Yeah, it was like a softer one.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing, but it knocked him out.
Yeah.
I've been hit hard as hell by heavyweights in the gym, fine. And I've been dropped by little guys. Because if it hits you in the right spot, you're just done.
Yeah, it's weird sometimes where a punch doesn't look like it should knock you out. Like, remember when Renzo Gracie fought Dan Henderson? Renzo is trying to shoot in on Dan to try to take him to the ground, and Dan
uppercut him.
He hits him. It's like an uppercut, almost like his wrist, and Renzo went out. And like Sokoju versus Little Nog, same shit. Yeah. He hit him with a punch, but he didn't even land the punch. He hit him with his wrist, and he knocked him out.
That's why people I use the term lucky punch. I don't care how I use it. People say it's unlucky because he threw it. Yeah, guess what, though? He threw 65 hard ones that didn't do shit. And those soft one knocked him out. It's a lucky punch. I've seen guys where, I'm beating you up the whole fight. It's the last minute left, and you close your eyes and overhand right knock me out. It's a lucky punch, dude. You know what I mean? Like, there's such thing.
Sort of, but then again, okay, here's a perfect example. Like Marcus Davis and Jeremy Stevens. Marcus Davis was outboxing Jeremy Stevens, but Jeremy Stevens landed a few good shots, but not enough to put him away, and then finally in the third round hit him with just his haymaker from Jupiter and landed right on his chin, and Marcus was stretched. He was out cold. But, I mean, he hit him with all these punches before. It didn't do it, but he was looking for that perfect punch. So that's not a lucky punch.
But, you know, but sometimes they're there.
There's a few, yeah.
And just like, fuck. Like
weird shit happens.
Yeah.
When Matt Hughes fought Matt Serra, they collided heads, and Matt Hughes went down. He thought he got punched, but it was like a headbutt that dropped. And he went to the corner. He's like, what hit me? Did I get dropped? And, like, they thought he got hit by a punch, but we watched it in the replay. You could see they collide heads, and he gets dropped from that.
Yeah, you know, and that's why I think stand-up's a little more shaky, because there's more luck in stand-up.
Yeah.
Than there is in the wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
There's also more, what's important is, like, things that you're physically born with. Like reach and athleticism and fast twitch muscle fibers, they come into play way more with stand-up. Whereas a guy can get real good. If you teach a guy the fundamentals of striking and he's a long, tall guy, you know, he could get real good, real effective, real quick, as opposed to a short, fat white guy who's got short-ass arms, and you're fucked, man. Yeah. Like, the physical, but that short guy, if they were just rolling, if that guy was a wicked black belt of jiu-jitsu, just knows positioning, he could just run around that dude, tie him up in a knot, and do whatever he wants to him. Yeah. So you can get like a black belt in striking.
Yeah, you don't have to be as athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting seeing BJ come back now, because BJ's going to fight at 145, and he's already down to like 155. He's already in the 50s. I've seen pictures of him. He's skinny as shit. Yeah. It's crazy. It's just, I don't know, like those last few fights, like the Nick Diaz fight and the Rory McDonald fight, like what kind of a beating he took in those fights. You know?
Yeah.
Those fights were like first round effort and then shut down. And then it was like he was trying to win, but he was basically on survival mode for rounds 2 and 3. There were 2 fights he should have never taken.
Nah.
Against 170s. I mean,
he's way too small for 170.
But the fact that he's now at 145 is just so crazy, that he just is so extreme. Goes from, I'm not going to cut weight, I'm just going to fight anybody at 170, and then I'm fighting at 145. Like, that's a giant difference. Guys that carry muscle mass and then they use it, though, like Hector Lombard. He's a scary motherfucker with a lot of mass. There's a few guys that, like, break those rules.
Even Monson has good cardio.
Yeah, not bad. Well, he's also Monson's been in the game so long he can relax, and that's a big part of fighting, is just being able to relax.
Yeah, it's brain. Brain's most of your cardio.
Mm-hmm. Keeping your mind.
Like for example, my Navy SEAL friend, right? He has the obstacle course record at Bud's. He can do any snowshoe marathons. He can do crazy all kinds of circuits, beat everybody, right? But spar him 1 5-minute round, he's gonna die.
Like, isn't it funny?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, but he can wrestle. He can wrestle all day, but as soon as there's punching involved, 5 minutes,
he tightens up.
He's dead.
Yeah,
dude, you can run a snowshoe marathon. Yeah, you can't fucking spar. You're dead. So brain is everything.
Well, Nick Diaz had the best style for that, getting guys exhausted, because he wouldn't let them breathe, and that's what people don't understand.
He's a nightmare.
When someone's punching you, even if it's little punches, you can't relax. You need to relax. So you're holding your breath all the time he's hitting you.
Clenching.
You're like, within 30 seconds of that, you're fucking exhausted, and all those little 50% punches start adding up.
Dude, Nick Diaz is a nightmare.
Yeah, Nick is one of the biggest nightmares ever.
Dude, he's probably the last person I want to fight. Like if I said, you want to fight St-Pierre or Diaz? St-Pierre all day.
Really?
Yeah, Diaz is just, from my style at least, it's a nightmare. Because I don't know, man. I don't like to go backwards. I like to go forward. Mm-hmm. And with him, he goes forward too much, and he's too good at it. He's a nightmare to me. I don't know.
He revolutionized, in my opinion, that style of striking. You never saw that before. Like, guys are throwing like 50% punches and just staying on you and just hitting you with volume.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, that was the style that didn't exist before.
Like, it looks like dumb.
Yeah, it looks weird,
but it kicks ass.
When you saw like guys melt, like Frank Shamrock. Frank Shamrock melted. He just melted under that barrage. And he's talking shit, and Frank can't breathe, and he's punched him in the face. What, bitch? What, bitch? Eat that, bitch. And he's knuckle sandwiching him, kicking his ass, and then Frank can't believe that he's getting his ass kicked, and he's getting talked shit to like this on TV, and he realizes, I'm not going to beat this fucking guy, and he can't breathe. Because he's not getting any breath, because Nick's hitting him with 30, 40 fucking punches a minute. Just tot.
He has a difficult style to deal with.
Yeah, he's throwing 150 punches, hitting you with 30.
The only thing with Nick is like St-Pierre beat him easier because Nick's weakness is wrestling. Yeah. And as long as you can stay out of submissions, you'll be fine if you can wrestle him down. You know.
Yeah.
You know, but on the feet, man, nightmare.
Nasty body shots too. I was gonna say, like 30 of his punches are gonna be hard punches to the body, and he throws those vicious hooks to the body and lulls you to sleep with a few pity pats, and then whack! Boom, boom, the hooks to the body. The Paul Daly fight's another perfect example of that.
Oh yeah.
And he could. That's the other thing about Nick is that he could take a fucking serious punch.
Do you see him? He'll be pitter pattering. Mm-hmm. Whack! Get cracked.
Go right back.
He doesn't even care. Just right back there.
Just lets you know. So what? So what, bitch? So you hit me, bitch. You know. And then you see him like, standing there, hands down. Like when he fought Carlos Condit, and he literally bitch slapped him. He just open palm slapped him in the face. I mean, who does that? Who talks so much shit?
I love Nick Diaz.
He's one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorites. It just. It's interesting to see different styles and how those styles play out, and see if people can find a solution. You know, George found a solution to that style, but never came close to finishing them. Never really put him in danger. It was like a very safety first version of that.
Yeah.